Hey guys, this review's more. Back with a quick review, this time on the BIGBIG One brand Elitist S GameCube / Android / plugs into any Windows computer controller. So if you want to get this controller, it costs about $50. I think it's got like a 10% coupon currently. I'll put links to the various Amazon locations at the bottom. We picked this up and we like it again because it had the discount to it, $50. And it comes with a lot of good little things to it. One, it works on Android phones, so if you have use or reason to use this on an Android phone, it'll link up. And you'll be able to play some mobile games on Android using this if that is your desire. As you can see here, you see the little dongle right there. That's for the wireless connection via USB going into a Windows PC. I have not tested this on Mac, so I cannot determine or tell you if it works on a Macintosh or an Apple computer. So overall, ease of use is pretty good. I would say that connecting it to the Switch is much easier for me than it was to connect to the Bluetooth. Again, that's mostly probably because of my phone. I have a cheap little Motorola phone, so it's not the best thing in the world. But after restarting my phone, it found the actual controller once it was connecting to Bluetooth. Some of the main features of this: it has gyroscopic weights in it. That means you get the rumble, the textbook rumble you would get while playing Switch. It has a pretty good battery life. I've yet to charge, and I've played it for several hours on basically just playing some Smash Brothers on it. It feels rubberized. It might be it's got a rubberized kind of feel to it, so it's easy to grip, which is very, very nice. You always kind of want that when you're playing. It doesn't feel like, I don't get like sweaty when I'm playing with it. It uses micro USB for charging, which if you have a lot of micro USB chargers, that works out great for you. If your USB Type-C is becoming more and more common, but it's still pretty good. It'll do the job. It'll charge up pretty quick. It also has turbo button functions, which work fine. The instructions for that are pretty self-explanatory. You basically press and hold turbo, then you press the next button. That's going to be the one that pushes really fast. And it also has a custom macro button. That's what you see me taking off right there. That's the little macro buttons on the side. Those are great. Again, the instructions are fairly simple on those. It involves pressing and holding those and then pressing a combination of buttons. I didn't test that in the video simply because I don't play games that require that. I don't play like Mortal Kombat or anything else that's going to have like a bunch of macros. It would be probably pretty good for something like Fortnite, where you might be having some combos for building if you're doing that kind of stuff. But as far as what I play Smash, I play some other small games, maybe some Zelda stuff every now and then, and that's about it. Alright, so real quick instructions. This is how we're going to go ahead and connect the remote itself to the Switch. You're going to go to controllers. Sorry about the little reflection there, that's my fault. And you're going to go to either change grip order or find controllers. Both methods will work. You press OK, and you make sure you press the top button on the Elitist S controller. That's going to be located right at the tippy top of the controller, above that little red guy, right next to where you plug up the charger and or connector for the when you connect it to a PC. You press and hold it, it'll start moving those little light indicators back and forth really fast. If it goes slow, it means you did it wrong. If you just press it one time, it won't connect properly. So make sure you press and hold it, and it'll basically go back and forth really, really fast, and then the Switch will find it so long as it's within proximity. And there you see it popped right on. It's almost instantaneous depending on how many times you connect the controller. If you want to disconnect the controller, you just press the top button again one time. And that top button's far enough away from where your fingers work when you play the game that you don't have to worry about it actually switching off. So there you see the speed kind of speeds up a little bit. It's going to go looking for it. And then once it finds it, it will start going fast like this, and there it's connected. So a little red indicator light will give you the placeholder, so obviously it's going first player here. For the Android, similar process, pressing a different button combination, and that light will light up blue instead. So very quickly, I'm just doing it again just to show you. It pops on and off. You see it kind of happening in the background there, and that's basically how it works. So real fast, you're going to see a gameplay example just to kind of show you, hey, the buttons are responsive. I didn't feel any kind of lag with it, so it feels just like playing with the Joy-Cons or any other high-end controller that you might get direct from Nintendo, and really not much different at all from a Wi-Fi connection. I've just sped up the gameplay because there's no real reason for you to sit there and watch it, just to know that it is working properly. this is my son's Switch, and I don't get to play it often because he's so busy playing it. So my skills, I use Bowser because he's a big heavy hitter, and I like using the Death Scythe and all. I just ran through a couple of classic mode just to kind of get a feel for the controller. It feels a lot like an Xbox controller. So if you like Xbox controllers more so than the Joy-Con setup, more so than some of the skinnier, thinner controllers out there, you'll probably like this too. It's got that same kind of width and girth to it. So if you got big hands, you'll probably like it. And real fast, running back through this again, if you want to use this controller on another device, the best thing to do is probably to disconnect it from the Switch, and all that involves is just hitting that top button again, just tap it, and it'll turn off the connection to the Switch, and you won't have to worry about it interfering with like a Bluetooth connection later on with your phone, or even the Wi-Fi connection going from the wireless USB dongle. And here you see me setting up the Wi-Fi. That's what it looks like on the Bluetooth. I'm sorry, not Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth. This is me setting up the Bluetooth. Pretty simple. Just make sure what you do is you press that top button again while simultaneously pressing the A button. If you do that, it'll get set up, and once it's paired, it'll look very similar to how it pairs to the Switch, except instead of a red light indicating it's connected to the Switch, it'll be a little blue light on the far left-hand side saying, hey, this is Bluetooth, which makes perfect sense. So that's what you get from there. Now, I don't do a whole lot of mobile gaming, so I downloaded a couple games, Fortnite. I did even download Roblox a couple times. A lot of the first-person shooters kind of have workarounds where you can use these controllers, but most of them have things set up to where even if you can use the controller on them, like Call of Duty, that kind of stuff, it'll make it to where it will not function properly, like it won't have a trigger. Like Roblox, there was no trigger function when I played a little FPS Roblox game. So depending on what the software is, you might not be able to functionally use it. But that's not the remote's issue, that's the software on the app basically doing a block on using controllers to make it more fair for people who are using it on the screen. Now here's me playing some Valheim just to kind of show you the responsiveness. Now this game is not set up for controllers at all, but it's a fun game. One thing I need to point out is that if the Microsoft setting, whenever you plug it in, it defaults to it being an Xbox controller. So the button mapping doesn't really match up. So just depending on what you're using, you might just have to get used to the mapping being different. So like obviously the X button and A button, various alphanumeric buttons, don't match up on certain games. So if I were to sit here and play Halo with this, it would not map up the A button to where the A button is visually on the controller. It would assume that is, like, I believe, X. So it moves that around. So just understand it's going to be a lot of muscle memory. Remember, this is originally designed for a Switch, so it's going to has all the Switch buttons laid out as they would be on a Switch controller. But here's me just running through, just figuring out what it wants to do. And notice it says E. That's because this is a PC game, and it's assuming you're pressing E rather than pressing a button on a controller. And this is really just to show you that it does function as described. And that's basically the end of the video, guys. It works. It's a good product. 50 bucks. I think it's worthwhile, especially for me, because we've bought some controllers in the past that have basically they're too small for my hands, and it feels like I'm kind of like a giant over top of them. This is a much larger controller, closer to something like an Xbox Elite kind of shape in general. So if you have larger hands, this is a good option for you. It's got a rubberized kind of finish to it, so it grips easy. Doesn't get super sweaty in my hand, which is kind of nice. And overall, really happy with the product. I think it's like 50 bucks right now on Amazon, and I think there's also a 10% coupon currently, so you can get it for like 45. So it's a good little wireless controller with a very long battery life and a bunch of good little features on it. And the fact that it comes with the USB dongle is also kind of helpful too, because that makes it a little more worthwhile. So you can play wireless on PC if you want to, which is kind of nice. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and like and subscribe to see more videos like this.